Welcome back to Adventures with Dice. I'm Rob and I'm your host for these videos. And in today's video, we are doing a top 10 list. And this top 10 list is my breakout top 10 RPG products or gaming products that I was exposed to this year. So in 2023. This is going live day before Thanksgiving, I believe. So my channel members here on YouTube will get it a little early, but it'll be live for everybody. It should be the day before Thanksgiving 2023. And that really, to me, Thanksgiving marks not only a lot of really good food, which clearly I like, but it also marks the countdown to the end of the year. And if we're talking about countdowns, then let's count down the best RPG products that I have encountered this year. Now, a couple of caveats. That doesn't mean that the product was published this year. In some cases, it was, but not in every case. It means that this year was the first time I was exposed to it. Okay, so this is going to be a top 10 list, starting at 10, working our way down to number 1. And it is ranked in order. Number 1 being the absolute best, in my opinion. Now, that being said, if it got on this list at all, then I thought it was a phenomenal find. So just because something comes in at 7, 9, 10, 8, whatever, doesn't mean that I don't like the product. It just means that there are other products that I liked more, but everything on this list is outstanding in my opinion. So let's just get that out of the way right now. And we're going to start with number 10. Number 10 for me is going to be 4 Against Darkness. 4 Against Darkness is a solo adventuring dungeon crawler. Not a lot of role play involved in it. You can add that to it yourself, but it's a great dungeon crawling adventure game in itself. However, it has a ton of supplements out there, and you need some of those supplements in order to expand the story beyond the dungeon. Start building towns and hex crawls and adventuring maps and so on and so forth. If you want to do that, you're going to need to either create a lot of stuff yourself or get the supplements, which buying the supplements is not bad. They are cheap, in my opinion. Not cheaply made, they're well made, but the physical versions of them range from about 10 to 15 bucks on Amazon, so they're not super expensive. I've got a whole stack of them back here. I love this game. It's a great game. And once I started getting into the expansions, I loved it even more. Number 9. Number 9 is the Vigilante City books 1 through 4. This was sent to me this year by Bloat Games. My buddy Eric over there sent them to me because I'm interested in doing some superhero role playing. That hasn't stopped. It's just between, things with church and life and trying to do videos and running games, solo games and live games. There's only so many hours in the week for me to get things done. So it hasn't been played yet. However, I have read through a great deal of it, and these books are great. Not surprising. Bloat Games puts out some really cool stuff. Books 1 and 2 you can buy off their website for a bundle, and it's $49.99. Books 3 and 4 for $44.99. These books cover so much. If you want to play street level Batman Gotham type adventures, or if you want to play X-Men mutant type adventures, if you want to play Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle type adventures, this is it. These books allow you to do that. I highly recommend them. They are fantastic. They're a fun read. They are full of adventure ideas and adventure seeds and NPCs and bad guys. And honestly, I might even get a solo season of this, hopefully this year, but in 2024, in the coming year, I'm hoping to get a series of this going because it's just a lot of fun. Number 8. Number 8 is a role-playing game based around a setting that I very much love and adore, and that is Warhammer's Old World. The Warhammer Fantasy Role-Play is, I believe Cubicle 7 puts it out now. It's another one that I haven't gotten to the table this year, but I have the main book and I have the starter set, and I've downloaded some adventures for it. I've put together some demo kits to run it. I just haven't had a chance to yet. The system is a little crunchier than some of the other stuff that I'm using, but I don't think it's that bad. It's a percentile based system, and from what I understand, it's closer to first and second edition than it is the third edition, because this is the fourth edition of the game. But it's a really good game. Got some very interesting character concepts for you to play, and it's set in the Warhammer Old World, which is just grim, dark fantasy, and I dig that. So this had to make the list. Unfortunately, though, coming in at number 8. Number 7. Man, what can I say about number 7? Number 7 is the Lone Wolf books. After being out of print for years and hard to find at a reasonable price anywhere, I was excited this year to find them doing reprints of the original Lone Wolf adventure books, game books. I sat down again for the first time really since my childhood and opened book 1, which is Flight from the Dark, and I was instantly transported back to the days of yesteryear. Summer evenings, sitting on my grandpa's porch in the country, reading and taking part in grand adventures. Like, there's nothing not to love about the Lone Wolf books. I think they're around $15 a piece on Amazon, something like that. You can get deals with like sets of 5 or something at a time, but if you've never picked up a Lone Wolf adventure book, they are a choose your own adventure, but there is a game system built into it where your character will level up, they'll advance, they'll gain new powers, they will gain equipment, lose equipment, all kind of stuff throughout the course of play. So I highly recommend checking them out. I love Lone Wolf. Number 6. Number 6 is one that just caught me off guard. I didn't even know it existed. It blew me away. I did a recent video about this, and that is what I call the Towerhouse Creative Bundle. This was a group of products that was sent to me by Elton over at Towerhouse Creative. He emailed me through YouTube, let me know that he follows my channel, and we have similar taste in our approach to gaming. And I call this a bundle because all 3 products have this is the only 3 products they have, but they sent these to me, or he sent these to me, and each one is very different, and the love and care that went into every part of these, it blew me away. All 3 of these items are making it into my solo RPG kit, and some of them will, like Bell Whispers, for sure is going to get used in my regular games. There's just so many great tables, and if you haven't seen that video, it's one of my newer videos. Go check it out. It's really, really good. Well, the video's okay. The product is really, really good. All right, number 5. Number 5, Hero Quest. Now, was I first exposed to Hero Quest this year? No. I played Hero Quest, back in, I guess it was 1990 when I got my first copy. I got it when it came out over here in the U.S. And what can I say that hasn't already been said 100 times about Hero Quest? Well, you might say, well, why do I have it on my list if I didn't get exposed to it this year, if I got exposed to it back in the early 90s or 1990? because this year was the year of HeroQuest for me, because this year was the year I got my hands on all the new HeroQuest reprinted stuff from Avalon Hill. I have the original game. I've done videos on that. It's on my channel where I reconstructed the game, 3D printed the miniatures and furniture and stuff I needed, and had the base game. I had to go on eBay and get a screen for it. And as soon as I got done painting everything and getting it completely ready to go, my wife surprised me for my birthday this year with the Core Gaming HeroQuest over here on my shelf. And I have since accumulated through her and my friend Haley all the expansions and stuff that are out at the time of this video. So I've got a bunch of expansions, a bunch of miniatures, tons and tons of quests, more than I have time to get to the table. But I love HeroQuest. So it made my list because of the new version of it that I got exposed to this year. I knew it was out, but this year was the first chance I got to get my hands on it. And I absolutely love it. It does, however, mean that we don't really play my OG version of it. It kind of just sits on the shelf. But, you know, it's my baby. It's up there. Number 4. Number 4 is the Mythic Game Master Emulator 2nd edition, right? I had the 1st edition, and I think it's Wordmill is the name of the company. But they sent me not only the PDF, but the physical copy of the book as well, which it has not arrived yet. They just sent it, and it's supposed to be here, I think, next week or whatever. So I'm really excited to get my hands on that, because if you're into solo role playing at all, then you know what Mythic is. I don't need to go into a ton of detail to explain it. Mythic is known for its phenomenal charts and the numerous versions of them that they have. And I am looking very forward to using Mythic in a couple of different solo systems that I'm going to do. I'm trying out a lot of different solo tools to find out what I like best, and it may vary per game depending on the type of game. I may like one Oracle system for one game and a different Oracle system for another game. But I like different games. I like variety. So I'm going to be trying a lot of different stuff out, and I'm very, very excited to get my hands on this. The PDF is great. I can't wait for the physical book to get here, and I'll be doing a video on that when it does arrive. Number 3. Number 3, you guys and gals have heard me talk about these books repeatedly over and over in different videos, and that is Table Fables 1 and Table Fables 2 by Madeline Hale. And they are fantastic little books. I think they're cheap. They're like 12 or 15 bucks a piece, something like that. On it might even be around 10 bucks a piece on Amazon. But these books are great. They have so many useful tables in them. I just, you know, it doesn't matter if you're trying to generate characters, NPCs, from shops to towns to cities to worlds to weather to religion. It's all in there. And if you need something on the fly, you can grab these real quick, go through them, and never get caught with your pants down again at the game table. Unless that's the way you like to play, in which case that's weird, but I don't, you know, no judgment, you know, whatever you like. However, these are great, and they are great if you are playing, because they have great backstory stuff in them and things for randomly generating characters. They're great if you're running a game for a group. You need a shop, boom, you can instantly pop up a shop. You need a town, boom, you can instantly pop up a town, an NPC, whatever. All those tables are in this book. They're very easy to use. And hey, if you're playing solo, even better, because these books are phenomenal. I know that, I don't know his name, but the guy that does Stone Axe Gaming or something, I've seen a few of his videos, and every one of them he seems to be using Table Fables. O'Neill Flynn is a buddy of mine on YouTube, and it was one of his videos about Table Fables that kind of got me turned on to it. And I actually have Table Fables 1 and 2, and Arcane Artifacts and Curious Curios, which is kind of 3, and I think the fourth one, which is like Table Fables Modern, and it comes in really handy if you're doing like Dark Places and Demogorgons or very like zombie apocalypse type games or just modern games. Tons of great stuff in these books. And this young lady started doing this when she was like, I don't know, I think I read in there that she was like 13 or 14 years old when she started doing this. And I'm sitting back looking at these books and how amazing they are and wondering what I'm doing with my life. Like she's done such a phenomenal job with them, and I cannot talk them up enough. All right, guys and gals, we are down to number 1 and number 2. This was a hard decision because I'm ranking them by how much I like them. These last two, man, they were kind of neck and neck because they're both fantasy role-playing games. So in that aspect, they do the same thing. They provide you with rules, you create a character, you play in a fantasy game, fight monsters, dragons, whatever. However, the approach that is used between the two games is completely different. And it was one little niche thing, one little nitpicky thing that made me choose one of them as number 2. So number 2, Dragonbane. I love Dragonbane. I think Dragonbane is great. And the fight for the number 1 spot on this list, man, it was not an easy one, let me tell you. Dragonbane has so much to offer. It's got a fantastic presentation, right? Like just from the box onward. A smooth and easy rule system, a fantastic built-in setting for you to use and play in, and just so much more. The only thing that it fell short on, and this is just my opinion now, is adaptability. And what I mean by that is even with the upcoming bestiary that's being put out, and I have the PDF for it, it's great. There's some cool stuff in there. But even with that, it's a little bit sparse on monsters, right? And because it uses such a unique system for the way monsters work, they don't just have a standard stat block. Each monster has a list of attacks that is specifically designed for that monster. So that's the problem. It's really cool when you're playing Dragonbane, but it can also be a problem if you're wanting to port other monsters in to the game because you don't feel like the game has enough monsters, or it doesn't have a monster you're looking for, or you're trying to adapt another adventure or something, and you need to port something like this in. And that's where the problem comes in, is you can't just port the monster in and run it and adjust the stats. You have to take each one and create an entire specifically designed list of attacks for it if it's not a humanoid. If it's a humanoid, then it just works like a orc or a goblin. But anything beyond that, there's kind of a lot of heavy lifting to do that conversion work. Now, if you're happy with the amount of monsters that are there and you're good to go with that, then boom, just roll with it, because Dragonbane is phenomenal. It is so good. I've run it several times now. I love the game. I love the aesthetics of the game. I love the rules of the game. I love the way the monsters work. But at the end of the day, they don't translate to other games very easily, or vice versa. So you can't just grab stuff from other games and throw into it. And that's where my number 1 game is going to beat out Dragonbane this year. Next year, we'll see. So that brings us to the number 1 spot. Number 1. And if you watch this channel for any amount of time, or if you're one of my friends or on Facebook or whatever, this is not a surprise. OSR. And by that I mean Old Swords Reign, not OSR, the community / whatever it is. I mean Old Swords Reign. This game is the number 1 breakout surprise game that I just happened to stumble across this year. I had never even heard of it before, but it is so good. So first of all, let's look at the pricing on it. Like, it's free. You can go to the forums and you can get the game for free. You can download it, and I think it and the player's guide for free. If you want a physical copy of it, you can buy it in softback on Amazon for $7. I mean, you can't beat that. But is it any good? Okay, so yeah, it is built on the framework of 5e, but with just enough old school DNA that Old Swords Reign is both forward and backwards compatible. And the author goes into this in the book quite a bit. It's compatible with old and new editions of D&D. I have run a ton of OSR. I am currently using it as my rule set for Adventures with Dice Solo, the series that I'm doing in season 1 of right now. The creator, Damian Fagan, over at Fumble Table, he is very active with the growing community that we have on the forums and in Discord. And this game is simply approachable and really cheap. Two things that are fantastic to have in a game. I've done multiple videos on this game, so I'm not going to go into how everything works with it, but if you have not tried it, I highly suggest go grab the free copy of it, read through it. Even if you're a hardcore 5e player, you're going to find stuff in this game that is going to be easy to plug and play into your 5e game that you're going to like. There's so much to like here. All right, so that's it. That's my top 10 gaming products of 2023. What are yours? Your top 5, your top 10, whatever. Leave them in the comments below. I love to read that kind of stuff. I hope that if you celebrate it, I hope everybody has a fantastic Thanksgiving. You guys stay safe out there, gals too. And until next time, my friends, good gaming and good luck.